From this lecture, I'm going to show you how to create a simple Redux application in React. Until now, we all know how to work with Redux, but let me show you how you can use the Redux in the React application. So I'm going to create a simple project inside my Visual Studio Code editor and show you how you can work with Redux application. So let me just create a new project inside my application folder. So here inside my MERN series, I'm going to open my terminal, and inside my terminal, you can notice I am in my MERN series folder. Inside that, I'm going to create a new React project. So to create a new React project, I'm going to say npx create React app. And then I'm going to name this application Redux app. When I press enter, this command will create React application in this directory. So this command will create a simple React application. Once we have the React application, let me first cd and enter into my Redux app. So once I enter into my Redux application, let me just start the development server. So I'm going to say here npm start. So this command will simply start the development server of React. Just for that, let me close this terminal and let me open my Redux app. Here I'm going to have a few folders. What I'm going to do is inside this source folder, I'm going to create few folders. So let me just click on this new folder icon, and I'm going to first create here a folder name Redux store. Inside this Redux store, I'm going to store all my Redux files. Just for that, inside this source, I'm going to add another folder with the name components. And inside these components, I'm going to put all my components. Just for that, inside this Redux store, I'm going to create 3 subfolders. First, for the actions. Second, for the reducer. And third, for the store. So inside this action, I'm going to put all my action files. Inside this reducer, I'm going to put all my reducer files. And inside this store, I'm going to have my Redux store. Now when your app grows, you will have more than one reducer and more than one action. So I'm going to separate both these files using directories. Let me create my action creator. So inside this action, I'm going to create a new file, and I'm going to name it index.js. That's upon you. You can name anything to this file. Inside this file, I'm going to create my action creators. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say here constant add to do success is equal to, I'm going to pass here to do parameter and pass an arrow here like this. And inside this function, I'm going to pass object. So I'm going to just return an object with this function. Let me first add here a comment to indicate this is the action creator. So inside this object, I'm going to first specify the type. So I'm going to specify here type in the capital letters. So I'm going to say here add to do success. Just for that, I'm going to specify payload, and it is a type of object. So I'm going to pass here object and pass here to do this parameter name. So when I call this add to do success, I'm going to pass this value to this action. Just for that, let me create my second action. So just for that, here I'm going to say constant add to do started is equal to, and then I'm going to pass here an arrow function. Inside it, I'm going to pass type, and it is a type of add to do started. Now I want to return this object, so I need to wrap it inside this parenthesis like this. Just for that, let me create my last action. So I'm going to say here constant add to do failure is equal to, specify here error as a parameter and pass a function here. And inside it, I'm going to return an object. Inside this function, I'm going to say type. This is a type of action, and this is the add to do failure type of action. Then I'm going to pass here payload. It is going to be an object, and pass here my error parameter, error. Now when creating an action creator, you need to take care of this action type. When you pass this action type, you need to specify the exact name of this action type in the reducer. So let me show you how to simplify this statement. What I'm going to do is I'm going to create the action types in a separate files. So inside this action, I'm going to create a new file and specify name for this file types.js. And inside it, I'm going to export all my actions. So here I'm going to simply say export constant and specify name of my actions. For example, inside this index, here I have add to do success. Let me copy it, specify that here. So this is now a variable, and to this variable I'm going to pass value add to do success. Back to my action creator, copy this add to do started, specify that here using export keyword, export constant add to do started is equal to, and in the double quote I'm going to pass add to do started. At the last, here I have add to do failure. Let me copy it, specify here export constant add to do failure, and in the double quote I'm going to say add to do failure. So now I can access all these three constant variables here in my action creator instead of passing these values. So at the top I'm going to just simply say import in the curly braces. Here I'm going to import all these action types. So let me just first specify here from, specify single quote and specify here types, and from these types I'm going to first add to do success, then I'm going to add to do started, and then I'm going to add to do failure. Or you can just simplify this import statement. I'm going to just get rid of all these types right from here, and here I can say import star as action types. So I'm going to just import all my variables and create action type object and store all my variables inside that. So I can just simply access my all variables using this object. So instead of this hard-coded value, here I can simply say action types add to do success. Just down here I can just simply specify add to do started like this. Here I'm going to say action types dot add to do started, and just down here I can just specify action type dot add to do failure. That's easy, right? Now let's see how to create a reducer for this project.